Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Firstly, I would like to welcome all of you to this conference on the siege organized by the Perdana Global Peace Organization backed by UMNO. We are gathered here today not only to honor the Turkish martyrs who were brutally slaughtered by Israeli commandos on the Mavi Mawara, but also to counter the lies and propaganda by Israel and the Zionist-controlled international mass media that the passengers, specifically the martyrs, were terrorists, and therefore the killings were justified. More importantly, we must send a message of hope and solidarity to the Palestinians that the peace-loving peoples of the world will never abandon them, come what may, and that we will stand shoulder to shoulder with them in their struggle for liberation and for the state of Palestine. Prime Minister Netanyahu has openly and unreservedly declared just a few days ago that Israel will not apologize for the brutal murders committed in international waters in contravention of all conventions and international laws, because Israel was justified in massacre of unarmed people in order to defend Israeli security. Netanyahu said in an interview with Israel's Channel 1 TV, Israel cannot apologize for our soldiers being forced to defend themselves against the mob that almost slaughtered them. Yet, not one single Israeli commando was killed. In fact, from the testimony of Ken O'Keefe, which you heard just now, a passenger on Mavi Marmara, which we have just witnessed from the multimedia presentation, it was the well-armed commandos who killed and injured the passengers. Far from killing or attempting to kill the commandos, despite their friends being killed, the Turkish passengers managed to disarm 3 of the commandos, and after a doctor had washed away the blood caused by their faces being scratched, released them. Is this the behavior of a mob bent on slaughtering the commandos? In a speech to the Israeli parliament, Netanyahu elaborated, they want to strip us of the natural right to defend ourselves. When we defend ourselves against rocket attacks, we are accused of war crimes. We cannot board sea vessels when our soldiers are being attacked and fired upon, because that is a war crime. But where is the evidence that the Israeli commandos were being attacked and fired upon? Such is the distortion of the truth. Even the UN report chaired by Justice Robert Goldstone, a Zionist and a Jew, who found that the Israelis committed war crimes when it invaded Gaza in 2008, was dismissed as mere propaganda. And the said report was not allowed to be tabled and debated in the United Nations. Self-defense can take place if there was an attempt at attacking or when actually attacked by the aggressor. Even the Israelis said that the passengers were armed with iron rods, mainly railings from the ships, and scissors, Is Israel suggesting that people with scissors and iron railings attacked the fully armed commandos before they boarded the Mavi Marmara? It was to defend themselves that the commandos dropped from the helicopters and killed their friends, that the unarmed passengers tried to defend themselves with scissors and iron railings, the only weapons they could lay their hands on. However, even without an independent inquiry, and in spite of the fact that Israel had confiscated and destroyed incriminating videos of the massacre, the international mass media cannot ignore the overwhelming evidence provided by the survivors of Mavi Marmara, journalists and passengers who were able to evade the tight security measures and brought out videos showing that Israeli commandos had commenced firing at the passengers before boarding the Mavi Marmara. IHH, the organizers of the Mavi Marmara, has just come out with their report, and I'm told that this is available in CD form for all delegates. Additionally, we cannot ignore the fact that the intent to attack the Freedom Flotilla was made well before the flotilla set sail for Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Ehud Barak declared that Israeli naval ships and commandos would be conducting naval exercises to prepare for the eventual attack on the flotilla, and that Israel would do everything possible to prevent the flotilla from reaching Gaza. This was reported by Bloomberg, the Associated Press, and even Israeli newspapers, and was affirmed by the Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Oren, in an interview on June the 2nd, 2010. It came as no surprise that on 31st May 2010, in contravention of international laws, Israeli commandos, as directed by the Israeli regime, boarded the Mavi Marmara, and in the process shot and killed 9 passengers and wounded many more, and hijacked the entire flotilla to the port of Ashdod in Israel. Rifat Aude, a passenger on the Mavi Marmara, gave an account of what happened before Israeli commandos boarded the Mavi Marmara. She said, "The Israeli military was firing at us from their vessels, which approached the sides of our ship, and the helicopters from above as well, even before a single soldier landed on deck. Here we had fully armed Israeli commandos firing live rounds, tear gas, sound grenades, and other types of ammunition at unarmed activists of a humanitarian ship at night in international waters. And once again, the media has criminalized us and vindicated the perpetrators. Let me be clear. We had every right to defend ourselves and our ship against this illegal, barbaric assault, as our brothers were being wounded and killed. Just as Israel denied using white phosphorus and other banned weapons on the civilians of Gaza in the barbaric